Thank you and welcome to episode 1 of CrankyTV. We've ironed out the sound issues that we had on our pilot recording that we did just before E3, so hopefully you should have a better experience this time. If you like what you see and you've got to connect and perhaps would like to appear on the next show, then send me a message through the crankygamersuk.net website and we'll pencil you in for the next recording. So without any further ado, on with the show. Good evening and welcome to our, I suppose, episode 1 of CrankyTV. With me tonight, again, I've got the 3 people that were with us on the pilot episode, and that is Trafford99.
Hello.
Remy22.
Hello.
And Beaslebug.
Hello.
Oh, well, welcome all of you. I thought before we go on to our main topic this week, we'd just give each of you a chance to give us your thoughts on E3. So we'll start off with Remy.
I think all 3 main Sony, Nintendo and Xbox all had big plus and minus points, to be honest. I don't think anyone really stormed E3 this year. I think it's a fairly mixed bag and all. Saw quite a lot of games and some not so good games.
Beaslebug.
Yeah, generally, same again, not really very impressed. Some new IPs, interested in. There's a few sequels coming along. Really just left a bit flat, not what I was expecting.
Okay. Trafford?
I thought it was generally disappointing, to be honest. I thought the best of the 3 was Sony, and that was only slightly. I think they had the exclusive-wise, Sony sort of ran away with it compared to the other 2, but there was nothing there fantastic at all stuck out.
Okay. Just to quickly ask all 3 of you, were you disappointed with the fact that Nintendo didn't show much of the Wii U? They showed games, but not actually much about the console.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they did a bad job.
I didn't actually see the console.
Again. It was up there. They just didn't talk about it. It looks really nice. The best game I thought was that Lego City game. That looks awesome. I hope it comes to the Xbox or PS3.
So, our main subject this evening, I thought we'd ask the floor what they think about, and this isn't any particular manufacturer, what they think about the fact that the console's now becoming more a central hub for media as opposed to just a games machine. Do you think they should be concentrating more on gamers, or do you think it should be a central hub? As personally, I quite like the idea of. What do you, Trafford?
Controversially, I think it's quite a good idea that they're putting all these apps on it, and I'll explain that why. I've got quite a few Xboxes in the house, and one of them is in the conservatory, where we have no TV signal or anything, so for me to get Netflix or BBC iPlayer is fantastic. However, I think they're focusing too much on it, and gamers are suffering as a result of it.
Yeah, so what do you think, Beaslebug?
Same thing, I find it interesting, but I'm not really interested in it. I'll put the Xbox on, PS3, Wii, whichever, to play games, not to watch media. I've got other devices for that. It's device overload. Maybe they want people to go to their device only and leave all the others behind. But there's so much variety. You can just go from one to the other. Games consoles for games.
What do you think, Remy?
When they first announced apps a couple of years ago, I think it was now, I was quite excited about the iPlayer and everything coming to my TV, but I rarely use them. But judging by my friends list most nights, like most of the time, half the people are either watching Netflix or Love Film, so it seems quite popular. People seem to like it.
The people that have got, say, all 3 or 2 consoles, they're the ones that probably aren't keen on it because they're finding that they've got Netflix on all their consoles and they've got Love Film or whatever apps are on, and therefore there is that, which one do I go to? Whereas the people that have probably only got one console, then it's more of it is their central hub, and they haven't got any choice as to which console. So do you think that probably muddies it a bit, Trafford?
Yeah, it does. One thing I will say is, just gone to the reason I bought my PS3, it wasn't actually for a games console, it was for a Blu-ray player. On the back of that, I've played games like Uncharted and Heavy Rain, which are absolutely phenomenal, and I would never have played if I hadn't gone for the Blu-ray player itself.
I think the people with free consoles are actually going to be better off, because they're never going to be short of games either, because there's always going to be something out for them. With me, with my Xbox, I'm a bit miffed, because if they're not, Microsoft aren't bringing out first-party games, then I'm losing out, and I'm not really interested in apps either. If I had a PS3 or a Wii, I'll be getting them exclusives, so I wouldn't be that fussed. I'll be quickly happy.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. It is for the person with the single console. Perhaps the teenager in their room. Then they've got access to everything. They don't need a second TV. Just for television. In fact, they've just got the console playing all the playback TV shows that they always watch because they're out drinking and whatever. I think that's really sort of what it's aimed for. You're right, the single console person, they want to get that person with their console, with their services.
Would you like, perhaps with the next generation consoles that are coming out, to have the option of buying a console just that has the games on, and then perhaps another version of the console that is geared up towards media, Trafford?
That's a good question. I think, as I said, with my situation being with signals in the house, I'd like one with the media on, but I definitely don't lose concentration on the games.
Yeah, so do you think they like to get more people buying their consoles if they had two SKUs, so one that was purely a games console and perhaps a less cluttered system, and one that had all the media on it as well?
I think they do better doing one that's just a pure media console, and then one with both on, as opposed to having the games on both.
Right.
I don't think they won't let you do that, because they want to bleed as much money out of you as possible. If they ain't got you day one of apps, they're going to hammer it home week in, week out on that dashboard until you crumble and you buy and subscribe to them apps. So it'd be interesting to see what the American apps are like, because we get stitched up. We haven't got many apps compared to the USA. I wonder how they feel about apps.
I wonder if it's really aimed at the US market, this whole thing, because their cable price is supposed to be quite high, so they just subscribe to different services. And going through a console, there's been discussions in other podcasts that it's a cheaper option to do that. They just choose what they want, have the subscription to it, and they've got the console for it. They don't have to buy into a company.
I wonder how we'd feel if they brought out a Premier League app. I wonder if that would change our tune.
I was going to say that obviously we know that BT have bought 38 games for the Premier League. Now, the only thing they can put it on is a BT Vision box. Now, how about BT bring out an Xbox app that has the Premier League games on it?
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah? What do you think, Trafford?
Definitely, yeah. That'd be a great idea. Anything to get the monopoly off Sky, to be honest with you, so yeah, it'd be a good idea.
What about Remy?
I suppose it all comes down to cost, really. I wouldn't really be willing to pay more than £10 to £15 a month, and for 38 games a season, I don't think it's really worth it. Not why I can watch everything on the internet for free.
So, B's or both?
Football is not my sport, really. I wouldn't be interested in it.
What is your sport, Isabel? Do you like sport?
Yes and no. It's tennis, archery, athletics. Yeah, kind of looking forward to seeing a lot of the events coming up in the Olympics.
So if there was, would you ever...
I don't watch it weekly or anything.
Would you ever pay for sports then on an Xbox or
no
a sports app?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say. So what killer app would you like included on your favourite console?
I've got to say, it's just games. Really, that's my thing to unwind at the end of the day. Literally at the end of the day. Apart from that, it's family, television watching together, talking, and then it's kind of like my time at the end.
All right, Trafford.
You've hit the nail on the head already with the sports. If we could get a way of just paying for the football or the Formula One without having to pay a Sky subscription, that'd be ideal. Perfect.
So what do you think about that then, Remy?
I'm not really interested in paying. I'm not really bothered about apps. I don't know if there can be a killer app really to get me willing to part extra money a month. I don't think there'll be. I can't imagine there's going to be a future where apps actually sell a console. I'll be amazed.
I'll tell you
I
what
don't
would
know.
make me buy it.
What about subscription? What about selling, upgrade from silver to gold? Do you think that's a better leap?
Yeah, I think. Well,
Mm.
they might have
Okay.
bled that audience dry, so now they're moving on to apps.
Yeah.
On about the console seller for the apps, you think all of us that are gamers bought the game console day one or shortly after? They're going after the sort of casual market now with these things, and you've actually seen people in Currys and that in Derby sort of going around, going, oh yeah, get YouTube on this now, look, and Sky and that. So they are selling consoles for this.
Mm. Okay, so my last question then is, you've heard about what they're doing in the US with the console, and you buy your console and you get a live subscription over 2 years, and it basically costs you what, $99, and then you pay your monthly subscription. So would you do something like that if a new console came out and it was, going to be quite expensive to buy it outright? Beaglebug?
I don't think that would be an option for me. I'm pretty sure for the Xbox anyway, I'd buy the next gen. The others, I'm not so sure about. I'm lucky of being in a situation where I could afford a higher price, but I might think twice. I probably wouldn't want to go to a buy now pay later kind of a thing that they're sort of touting.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay it up straight.
What do you think, Remy?
It all suppose if I had the money at the time. But the American model, I don't think actually costs that much more in the long run, did it?
No.
So I might be tempted into it, depending on the price of a console. If it's above 350 quid, that might be out of my price range straight away.
That's my sort of think twice price range as well.
Yeah. So what do you think, Trafford?
Again, to say what the other two said, depends on the price of it to come out with. Looking at the prices that the Americans are paying with this deal, it's not that bad a deal when you work it out. It just sounds a lot, but you work out exactly what you get. It's not too bad. So it depends. I mean, the UK will bleed dry anyway compared to the US market. So we'd have to see.
Okay, well, thanks very much for listening to our first episode 1 of CrankyTV. I'll just hand over to each one of our guests to just say their goodbyes, and perhaps if you've got Twitter, give out your Twitter name. So, Trafford?
Thank you very much for hosting it again, Nats. Thank you, guys. I'm Trafford07 on Twitter. So, thanks, guys. Goodbye.
And Remy?
Yep, cheers guys. It's Remy22, my Twitter name. And my Xbox Live name, so hit me up on live if you want as well. I've got some spaces left.
Okay. And last but not least, Beetlebug.
Hi, and thanks again. Thanks for organising it, Nats, and see you online soon. I'm Beetlebug on Twitter. Thanks again. Goodbye.
That's good night from me as well. I hope you enjoyed the show.